I'm so excited that you've taken time out to tune in to the Ella Johnson Show. I hope that you enjoy the broadcast. I hope you'll laugh. I hope you'll cry. But I hope that you'll be moved by what you hear. Well, my guests are very special to me, and so are you. So I want you to sit back, enjoy the show. What you can become depends on what you can overcome. Yes, I'm so excited about my children's book that's coming out, and I'm looking for some mahogany kids. I'll tell you about that later. And now it's time for the Ella Johnson Show. Yes, it is Friday night. I know you guys don't normally see me on Friday nights. Well, because of George, we had to come back. You guys, thank you so much on this Friday night. I know you're probably relaxing, having a good time at home with your family and friends, but I am so glad that you decided to tune into the Ella Johnson Show on this special Friday night broadcast. Thank you from YouTube. Please subscribe to the channel. Thank you from Facebook. Please share the broadcast. And I want you to talk to us tonight. Make comments, ask questions, because tonight is part 2 with George Gushniere, Mr. Showtime from Mobile, Alabama. Listen, you know, the other night we had a technical difficulty, Gushniere, and you had to get off. And I said, you know what? It was a good conversation. It was too hot. Just blew up his phone. Just blew up your phone. It was too hot conversation. Well, we have a fan tonight, baby, because we're going to make sure that we get it all in tonight. Listen, my friend, my brother is here from Mobile, Alabama. He has been through so much. I mean, he has been through abuse, discrimination, intimidation. But one thing for sure, my friend has never lost his determination. So he's here tonight, share his story with us. Welcome to the Ella Johnson Show, Mr. Showtime.
Thank you. Hello, everyone.
Well, I'm excited. Like, we have a new setup tonight. You got your hair pushed back and you're just like ready, right?
Yes,
how did you enjoy the other night, Mr. Showtime? How was that? You put a lot of stuff out there for us.
It was fine. It was more or less a conversation, not an interview, a conversation. And it was fun. It was actually fun.
How did you feel revealing some of your deepest, darkest secrets?
Letting a lot of it out is a healing process.
Right.
So exposing some of my dark things about my life is a healing process. And I did get a lot of family members who chimed in and just gave me a little condolence of apologies and things that I've went through. So
really,
yeah, I did get some responses from that.
Because, you know, the other night we were concerned that people were gonna give you some backlash, but you didn't get backlash. You actually got love.
Yes, I did.
But then, you know what? I am so glad. I am so glad for you.
Thank you.
Wow. Was it people that you hadn't spoken to in a while?
One, I don't want to say who she is because I don't want anybody to call her, but she is like a sister-in-law. So it's like, I'm going to say that. But she exposed something to me, and she said from watching me tell my truth, it helped her tell her truth.
Really?
And yeah, something happened to her, and she said she was crying the whole time watching me tell my story, because people that are touched at young ages, we can relate. It's like the energy flows through us when we touch on those topics, because some of it is so much the same. And we hear the stories, it's always the same. And she said, I said something that was very powerful when I said it starts at home. She said that was very
So she
powerful.
can relate. Well, without calling her name, because you didn't call her name, but whomever you are, sweetie, I just want you to know that you are more than welcome to come here to the Ella Johnson Show if you ever want to tell your story. But if not, it's okay. We just want to encourage you to keep trusting God, keep healing, and get what you need so that you can get over the hump, so that you can be a blessing to other people. So, George, we talked about, now for the people that are new, and you have no idea what we're talking about. The other night, George revealed some of his childhood secrets, some things that he went through. He revealed on the show that he was molested since he was 4, all the way up till 17, right?
Yes, ma'am.
By family members, uncles, cousins, girls, guys. And through that is when you kind of develop this girly like attitude, one you were more favorable towards. But he also revealed his new word that he has for his sexual preference, which is transsexual. I know you guys might not find it on Google because it came from the Ella Johnson Show with George. That's why. But George, I want you to tell everybody, when you say you're a transsexual, what does that mean?
Okay. Transsexual. In society, I teach on my platform, and I try to teach people that a lot of the things that we were taught as kids and we were growing up, that they taught us, are lies, incorrect information. So a lot of the titles that they give us is what they title it to be. So my sexuality, when I say transsexual, I'm transitioning through my life. My sexuality is what I choose to make it. And life is what? It is a experience. And if we didn't have these titles, heterosexual, bisexual, transsexual, all these titles, it wouldn't be a big mystery. I feel that we all have done things that society doesn't know that we did, but we're not truthful. A lot of us are not truthful because of how society deems and think about us. We're not truthful. And you have to transition. This world is heading to a different frequency. You have to become awake. You have to transition. Tell your
So
truth and be truthful.
right. So you said all that to say that you like men and women and whatever makes you feel good, whatever makes you happy,
Whatever
right?
that makes me feel
I had to
happy.
bring it down because you were giving that Webster's version of it. Maybe if you
Whatever
send
that
that to
makes me feel
Webster,
happy.
right? I have
Yes,
to break
ma'am.
it down and let them know this is what he really means. Okay. But it's all good, George, because here on the Ella Johnson Show is nothing but love for you. You're my friend, you're my brother, and we just don't judge. This is a place where we set a table for real talk TV. So you can say whatever you want on the Ella Johnson Show. So tonight we're gonna just kind of take you guys and pick up where we left off. The other night, George was sharing with us. When we left off, he was giving the women some tips on how to know your man might venture to the other side. I was a little shocked, George, but I like your truth. And I think that's where we're going to start tonight. We're going to start right there. I want you to finish that up because that was pretty much when your phone blew up. So, can you finish that for us and just kind of start over and give us those tips? Because a lot of men are on the DL. You said a lot of the ones that you meet. So, there are a lot of men out there right now, George, right, that are married
Yeah,
and their woman has no idea that her man, her husband, her boyfriend is like that. So give us some tips.
that's all I've pretty much dealt with. I don't attend any gay bars. I don't have any gay friends that I call every day, or none that call me. I have preached this for years. Just because something looks like something and it acts like something, that doesn't mean a thing. I was married. I had a wife. I had a girlfriend, but I'm still George. I'm still a transsexual. That's what I like to do. That's what I'm about. That's what I became. So dealing with guys, I'm 48 years old. I started at 14. I've only dealt with DL guys. What y'all see in society, it's an illusion. It's a subliminal message, an illusion. And out of 100%, I had a guy that came in my inbox too, Ella. He said that I spoke on pretty guys, pretty boys being trans. He said not all pretty boys are DL. I beg to differ. I beg to differ because I don't know what kind of pretty guy he's talking about, but I'm talking about my kind of pretty guy that stays in the mirror more than you, that looks at himself. Most of the time, when you catch a guy looking at himself in a mirror, walking by a certain object, and he catches a reflection of himself, and he's looking at himself, that's vanity. You realize that, right?
So you're telling me that guys that just because they care how they look, they could potentially be gay.
Not that they care about they look. It's too much.
Too
it's called
much.
Enough is enough. Too much.
Too much. Okay.
We call them unisex. Not unisexes. What's the good word for it? Metrosex. Most metrosexual guys, if you don't know what metrosexual means, it's a guy that, let's say when you go in the bathroom and you get ready to take your bath, you have bubble bath, body wash, oils, you have certain kind of perfumes, you have different kind of soaps. Well, guess what? If you walk into a guy's bathroom, he's got masses, play masses, different types of lotion, different types of cologne. That's what I mean about metrosexual guys. If you can't see this, because most of the women that I know, the friends that I have, when they see that, they said, oh, wait a minute, baby, this is too much. You got creams and eyeshadow stuff that goes up under your eyes. I mean, it's a lot. You sleep in a mask and they have these clay things they put on their faces. That's metrosexual. But your first thought,
he just likes to take care of himself.
Okay.
That's what I would think. I would say, oh, wow, we can share masks. I would. I would think that's cool at first.
Yeah, but that's not the typical guy. The typical guy, they're masculine. Just like these skinny leg jeans. Okay, I love this topic. Just like these skinny legs that came out, that all the guys are wearing these skinny legs. So, you're a guy. You want them to see your figure? What are you showing in these jeans, or who are you trying to impress? Because they're stuck to you like a pair of Janet Jackson pants. You ever seen Janet Jackson, her pants?
Yeah,
they're stuck to you. And if you have a private area in the front of you, these jeans are stuck to you. They can see everything in your body, your print. So that's masculine.
So why can't it just be fashionable? You know, the fashion's changed, George. That's not it. All right, give us another one so we can move on to another thing. Give us one more to look out for.
And when a guy wants to be seen more than a woman, when a guy wants more attention than a woman, and you'll always catch a guy. I love this one. This is a dead giveaway of a guy trying to turn on another guy. When they raise their shirt and show their belly button. When they lick their lips. These are things that's done right in front of you. When they lick your lips. Or when you walk away and you catch the guy looking at his butt. How many times have you seen that?
I've never seen that.
Ooh, you got to pay attention. You got to pay attention.
I've never seen that.
You got to really pay attention, because in a conversation, within the first 5 minutes of the conversation that I have with a guy, I know within that 5 minutes if that guy is bisexual or not. Within that 5, because it's communication, it's eye contact, it's gestures, it's several ways you can flirt. But if I've ever when I was in school, when we went to PE, any guy that would take off his clothes in front of me and dress out and look at me while he was doing it, that was a sign. Any guy that showed me that, you know how guys walk up to you to show you their belly button, pull their shirt up?
No.
You've never seen guys rub their stomach?
Absolutely not. No.
Oh, man. I got to teach you, Ella. I got to put you on point.
You're going to have to put me on point, brother. I never noticed that.
It's just certain signs they do that we call it the gaydar signs.
All right. Well, good. We've gotten a lesson tonight. Thank you, George, for that. I want to go back to something, because we missed something the other night going through your your childhood and your young adult life. I was not aware, George, that you were paralyzed at one time.
Yeah.
Tell us about
Um,
that.
I was paralyzed for 3 years. I had a nurse for 2.5 years. It took me 17 years to get out of a wheelchair. I was told by my doctor at that present time that I would never work again. I would never be the same. And God blessed me to get out that wheelchair.
How did
I'm
you get in the
standing.
wheelchair? How did you get in the wheelchair?
I fell and I broke my lower lumbar. Well, not broken, I fractured my lower lumbar. I think it was C5, C6, and C7 were severely damaged. And that happened in an incident with the county. So it changed my life. It
How
literally,
so? How so did it change your life?
because I
Did
was
you
this
become
person.
depressed? Did you
I
become
was so
depressed?
depressed. I was so depressed. I was
Did you
so
have to take
angry.
meds? Did you have to take meds for it? Your
Yeah,
depression? You did.
I did.
So you were
I
in
was so
depression.
angry. I was angry with the world because there's a discrimination on people. You will never see this discrimination. You will never think that it exists. There's a discrimination with people that are disabled. People will say, "Oh, I'll help them and I'll do this for them." No, that's not how it works. They really don't have the time for you. They really don't want to be seen. Not everybody, but it's a big, massive discrimination. And until you experience it, of being disabled, where you need somebody else to help you do things. Okay, I'll put it this way. Every person that I have seen that doesn't have legs, and they've been that way for over 5, 6 years, you don't see how angry they are?
Yeah.
Have you not noticed the anger? How,
Yeah,
ooh, they
I've
got bad
noticed that.
attitudes? It's because of the discrimination that they feel with people that are able to walk, or how they look at you. People stare at you.
So
You feel
people
what I'm
stared at
saying?
you. I want to talk about you. Tell me an experience you had where someone discriminated against you when you were in the wheelchair.
My brother, we have Mardi Gras here in Mobile, and I hadn't been anywhere. It was going on 8, 9 years. I hadn't been anywhere. I was always at home. I wanted to go to the Mardi Gras. One of my brothers rented a big Winnebago, like a charter bus. It was so huge, and I asked him if I could go. He told my mom that he didn't have time for me in the wheelchair. Ain't nobody got time to be babysitting nobody in no wheelchair at the Mardi Gras, and it tore me apart. I was very hurt from it because I don't have that heart. You feel me?
Right.
I don't have that heart. I'm your friend today. You can have a massive accident. I'm going to be the same friend.
Right.
Okay.
I believe that.
Um, I was in Walmart. My mom was pushing me around in Walmart. We were shopping. She was pushing my wheelchair. This is what I call when people look at things and they don't know what's going on. They started this rumor throughout Mobile when they saw me in the wheelchair. Oh, you know he has AIDS. He's in a wheelchair. That's another part of what I'm saying, discrimination. They gave my injury a title. He has AIDS. Have you seen him? He's broke down. He's in a wheelchair. I'm serious.
And you actually heard them say this.
Yeah. It came
Wow.
back. My mom got a hold of it. And this particular guy, he's a hairstylist here in Mobile. I'm not going to call his name because I'm not going to give him the energy of calling his name. This particular guy went through Mobile. When I moved to Florida, I had a girlfriend that was in college. So we moved to Florida. She was continuing her college education. And I had a guy that was actually going around Mobile saying, that's why he left Mobile. Uh, he has HIV. Y'all didn't see him in a wheelchair, just things like that. And this is what was circulating through the city. And people will believe a lie
Quicker
before
than
they
they will
believe the
believe the
truth.
truth. Yeah.
I have a son. My son is 19 years old. I got married. I just got divorced 4 years ago. Check with my ex-wife and ask her if she's sick. It's a
Wow.
lie. It's a lie. People have to stop listening to lies. We have things that are called discerning of spirit. You should feel a person's energy and be able to determine if they're lying or not. I can talk to you about 10 minutes and know your spirit. Honestly.
Wow. So, and I mean, you mentioned that you got hurt with the city. We're not going to go into the legal ramifications that came from that because still ongoing. Um, but you started to walk again. How did that happen, George?
Faith, inner strength. And just because a doctor, I want y'all to listen to me. Um, Anybody, I want y'all to really listen to me. I've been there. I got 17 years to prove it. I've sat in that wheelchair. I had butt sores, the whole 9 yards. I've been there. Listen to me. When the doctor looks at you and tell you that you're physically impaired, you're never going to be the same. That doctor is not God. That doctor has no power. Okay? Your faith. Listen to me. Please listen to me. And I hope that somebody that's watching this video that know me in that wheelchair, I was known as the guy in the wheelchair for 17 years. Listen to me. Get up out of that bed. Get up out of that wheelchair. Your mind controls everything. Don't be
Amen.
weak-minded. Don't let the
Yes.
devil take control of you.
Yes.
Get up out of that chair.
Yes.
Continue
Yes.
your life. Seriously. Look at me.
Yeah. So one day you just got up and you were able to walk. I mean,
No, it took me, it was a 17-year journey. I had friends that would, help me stand up at periods of time. I had wonderful friends, and God bless all of y'all. I don't want to cry about that. I had some wonderful friends. That was a hard period of my life. I think that's why I take my job so seriously. Now, it was just like God sat me down. It was just like God said, listen, you. I used to be just real bold. I would always tell people, oh, I'm going to do hair for the rest of my life. Oh, I'm not worried about nothing. Listen to me. It was just like God sat me down and said, listen, you, I'm going to sit you down and you're going to hear me. And I'm going to show you some things without your success. And he did it. I heard him. It changed my life.
wow.
It changed my
Wow.
life.
That was great advice too that you gave everybody, because everybody's going through something. Everyone that's watching this broadcast, if you're either coming out of it, you're in it, or you've had it to happen to you, something, your situation, and it may not be George's situation, but we've all been through something. So that's great advice there, George. Let's there's something I want to talk about, and you and I both agree that this is a touchy subject. So I want to go ahead and put my disclaimer that this is a touchy subject. We realize we're going to be talking about some touchy, probably some things that you guys know about, but it's something that we got to talk about, and we're going to talk about it next week also on the show. But George shared an experience that he had. So I said, you know what? I'm talking about that next week. I'd love for you to share that on the show tonight. And we're going to talk a little bit about it, George. You ready? You want to talk about it? You good?
I'm
See, I
good.
have to make sure my guests are good, because even though I love my show and I want it to be a success, I care about my guests more, right? So you shared with me that you had an experience at a church. I want you to just tell us about that experience.
I spoke about being raised in the church. I was raised in Pentecostal church, Church of God in Christ. Through me being raised in the church, I began to play by ear. I play the piano, the organ. This is a lot of things that people don't know about me.
I didn't know that either.
I play the piano. I play the organ. I play the drums. I'm very gifted, talently. And I used to, rest his soul, rest in peace. I used to do a lot of church workshops with a guy named Jason Hunter, who's not here anymore. I had a lover that I dated. He was a musician for the church. I think he played for like 3 churches. So through going to church and dating people that was musicians, participating in the church outlet, I was dating this guy. I'm not going to call his name. I'm not trying to give anybody any down fame on my page. I'm not trying to bully anybody or anything like that. But I was dating this guy. Those that were in Mobile, that were in that church, I was in a wheelchair during this time as well. I was in a wheelchair. And if you're in that church and you're watching this video, I want y'all to come on here and say, oh, he did just that. I went to this church in Tomerville next door to the McDonald's. And my friend was playing for that church. There were 3 people in that church that I knew that were musicians. The head musician, the assistant musician, and the drummer. I knew all 3 of them. My lover, listen to what I tell you, people. My lover was the assistant musician. I was in a wheelchair. I attended that service. I would always ask him, why would he have these private meetings with the pastors of these churches? This was going on damn near every church we went to. He would have these private meetings before I would get out the car. Because remember, I was in a wheelchair. He had to come get me out the car. Through the service that was going on, I watched the pastor raise his hand and leave off the pulpit. I didn't trust my friend because I knew his history. It was something else. So I watched him exit 3 minutes after the pastor. He raised his hand, went out a separate door. He exited the pulpit. I don't know what came over me, but I felt that something was not right. I can't tell you what it was. I felt something was not right. I unlocked my wheelchair. I went in the back of the church and I went around the church. There was nobody in the back of the church. No one. I headed toward the bathrooms. When I got to the bathrooms, of course, you can't hear me walking because I was on a wheelchair. I was rolling. You don't hear a wheelchair when it's coming because it's rolling.
Right.
I get to the bathroom door and I started hearing these grunts, moans and groans. I opened the bathroom with one of my hands and I'm looking at 2 of them standing inside a bathroom stall, 2 legs inside one stall. They're having sex. Listen to me, in the church. I was so angry. I didn't say a word to them. I let them continue. I came back, rolled to the front of the church. And when you get to the front, it's like a downward hill. When you get to the back of the church, you can roll down.
Right.
You don't have to hold your wheelchair. It was that kind of a setting. So while church was going on, I was angry, y'all. I had respect for the Lord's house. I had so much respect until I had to purify the Lord's house because I had to tell the congregation and the members what was going on in their church at that moment.
You did not.
Oh, I did. Oh, I did. And there's not one person that can call me a liar because if you attended that service on Sunday, I just gave y'all the clue of where the church was. It was in Tomerville, next door to the McDonald's. Look at my face. I was in a wheelchair. My dress was shorter. I rolled down to the front of that church and I grabbed the microphone. There's a microphone in the middle of the floor. Everybody was like, what is he doing? What is he doing? Well, when I got to the front of the church, they knew what I was doing. I told them, I said, I want to make an emergency announcement. I said, excuse me, I beg your pardon. I want to make an emergency announcement. I said that sometimes what you do in the dark comes to the light. And my grandmama ain't never raised me to come in church and to do things like that in the church. And if you are a pastor of that church, you're held at higher accountability. I exposed the pastor. I exposed him in the church to the congregation. And when I was saying it and speaking it to the congregation, you could hear people in the audience saying, I knew they were gay. You could hear people saying it. You can hear the, ooh, you know what I'm saying? You heard all that in the audience. So we know as a society, not all of us, some of us are clueless, but some of us know what's going on in the church. We know. Y'all got to stop acting like y'all can't see. And y'all got to start holding these people accountable. These people will get on a pulpit. They're preaching to you, your kids, your family. And when you see things like this and when you hear things like this, y'all got to start coming forward and then address that situation. Don't let it bypass you. Address it, because it's a big thing in the black churches. It's a big thing in Christianity, period. Okay? It's been going on for years with the Catholic Church. Y'all seen the payoffs. How many people did they pay off? How many kids came forward? Judge me for a lie. Convict me if I'm a liar. But stand behind me if I tell the truth. Y'all know that's the truth. That's just one
Wow.
experience.
Wow, George. Now let's talk about that. Let's break that down. When you saw that, you already had a feeling, because you had to ask him, why are you always in these private meetings? So when you saw that, what was the first thing that came to your mind? I know exposing them came probably mere second, but what was the first thing that came to your mind? Did you want to kill him?
I went back to every no, I didn't want to kill him, because I just went back to every encounter of every minister, preacher of every church that we ever been to, anybody ever played for. And let me tell you something. You know, they say the devil was a musician. Remember that saying? The
Yeah.
devil was the minister of music.
Yeah.
That is so true. It's so true. It's damn near every musician that I know, that I've came across, are gay. Damn near everyone.
Do you think the ministers know, or do you think they don't care? Do you think gay people should be allowed to work in the church?
Yeah, but be honest. You know, if you're going to be gay, when I played for churches, I was myself. The pastors knew that I lived the lifestyle that I live, and I had one pastor, when Jason was living, we played for a church across the bay. Y'all remember this face? Y'all remember me? I played the drums, I played the piano, I played the organ in the church. Y'all remember me? He used to come over there with Jason Hunter every Sunday and play with the church. And the pastor knew me. She met my mom. My mom used to do the pastor's hair. We had a thing where we got upset with each other in church. Me and Jason came to church one day and we were mad on a Sunday service. So I called him cheating. You feel me? I called him cheating. He was cheating with somebody. I came to church and I was angry about it. And I told him that if I caught him looking at this person in church, you feel me, I was going to turn that church out. I was mad because I don't like deception. I don't like lies. And I don't use God to cover up your sin. I can't stand that. Don't use God and act like you're so godly and you're doing, dirt. So there was a point where he was flirting in the church in front of the whole congregation. They couldn't see it. They didn't understand what it was, but I did. So I was beating the drums. When I saw him look at this certain minister and give him the eye, the drumstick flew out my hand. It just came out my hand. You feel me?
Wow.
It clucked him upside the head in church. I'm serious, B.
Now that's dramatic, George.
I don't know why people think because you're in a wheelchair that you won't react. You understand what I'm saying? He thought that I was in a wheelchair.
You're human.
Yeah, and he thought that I was not going to react. I reacted.
So what happened what happened when you hit him upside the head?
They played it off like it was just an accident, and the pastor had a meeting with us after church, and she wasn't mad at me. She just asked me what happened, and she said she saw some things herself. She didn't want to question it, but I put a head on it. You feel me? She did not want us to leave the church because that day was pretty much the last day that I was going to come to that church and play with him with that church. I was quitting that day. And she told me, she said, to use that same terminology, she said, a lot of people are against homosexuals in the church. And she made a statement as a pastor. She said, without y'all, the church would be nothing. And she made that real strong statement. And I know there's a lot of people. Let me tell you something. I know there's a lot of pastors and bishops. Y'all probably standing there saying, speaking in tongues, saying the old God, purge him, cleanse him. Let me tell you something. Let me know when God gave you a contract to judge my life. You let me know when God comes to you and give you the authority to put me in hell. If you're going to use your scripture to damage me, to send my soul to hell, show me your authority. Because God is love. God is not hate. and we all have to stand and be judged. And there's no sin, I love this part, bigger or greater than the other one. Y'all hear me?
If I'm having sex with someone and I'm not married to him, it's just as wrong as you having sex with someone
Yeah,
and you're
it's
not married to
there's
him.
no sin. They always
Yeah,
try to
I
take
agree.
homosexuality and make it this big sin. Oh, he's committing homosexuality, and it's this big sin. A sin is a sin. Sin is a sin, equal amount of sin. There's no sin bigger or greater than, and nobody here is perfect. We all have our shortcomings.
But George, let me ask you a question. Your gift made room for you to be a musician there at the church, but you allow a man to take you from it. What happened to that passion? Because the first thing I think is, was your heart really in it, or were you there because this man was there? I need you to speak on it.
My grandmother raised me to hold myself accountable for the things that I do. And when you know better, this is any person that's going through or that have went through what I went through. When you know better, I don't care if you're a pastor, a minister, evangelist, musician, whatever you are, and you're acting within the church. When you know right from wrong, and you know that you're not supposed to be doing something, and you're doing it anyway, and you're in a church, you're gonna be held at a higher accountability than other people that do not know. So I didn't feel right. I didn't feel anointed. I'm just telling you the truth. I didn't feel anointed because I was having ungodly thoughts. I was doing ungodly things. And how can you be anointed? When we say that we're anointed for music, ministers of music, they have an anointing. How can you be anointed? How? Tell me how. And you're dealing with that spirit.
It's a good point. So you left because you're like, listen, I'm not feeling this anyway. So basically that's why you moved on. But let's talk about this man. There's another man that I want to bring up. I researched this, and I know this is something else that happened over there in your city. Actually, Mobile is where I actually went to school too, George. Bobby Millsap. Bobby Millsap.
Woo, Lord.
Now I want you
I'm
to
gonna
kind of
say what they
introduce who
always say.
he is.
We gotta say alleged, because they always say that if you ain't been to court, we gotta say alleged. But I'm gonna speak on
Alleged. That's right. Your experience. Okay.
My experience. LaKendra Turner, you were my co-worker. You worked at Undeniably the Best with me. Remember Bobby Millsap? I knew he was some type of minister. I didn't know he was a preacher. Didn't know he had his own church. But he was married during this time, and I was standing outside on Halls Mill Road, right down the street from my house. I was smoking a cigarette, and I watched him. I know a lot of his members gonna be mad, but baby, let me tell you something. The truth is the light. Truth is the light. God bless. My condolences go to his family, but we're speaking truth right now. I watched this man pass forward, and by my job about 5-6 times, and I watched him look at me and stare at me. I knew within the second time that he passed by the shop that something about him was not right. It said pedophile. Something was not right. So when he gets out the car, he pulls up at the shop. I'm looking at him. I already know what's going to happen. I said, "Oh, here it comes. He's going to come on to me," because he passed by about 5-6 times. He ain't watching my hair. It ain't nothing about me. That's I knew what it was. So he walks up to me. He said, "I want my hair cut." We had barbers in the front. We had hairstylists in the back. I was a hairstylist. I was not a barber, and we never took somebody else's business. We would always let the barbers do the cuts, and we did the hairstyles. So I addressed him and I said, "Well, hey, we got a barber in the front. They'll cut your hair." This man looked at me in front of Kendra. Kendra, if you're watching this video, I need for you to make a comment about this factual moment. This man looked at me. He said, "Oh, I don't want them to cut my hair. I want you to cut my hair." And he said, "In fact, I want you to come to my house and cut my hair." Okay. So I gave this man my card. He gave me.
So
his
at this
card.
time, you didn't know who he was, right?
No, I didn't know anything about him being a pastor. And I just thought he was a pervert. Honestly,
Okay.
I'm gonna call it for what it would. That's just what I thought. I mean, it happens to me all the time. I thought he was just a pervert, and so I gave him my card, and I told him, I said, well, you can come up here tomorrow. I cut your hair about around 2:30, 2:45. He said, okay. So I went home. He didn't wait till tomorrow. He called me that night. Okay.
After hours.
After hours, my mama, I want somebody to say, oh, he's a liar. Oh, baby. And then I'm going to introduce y'all to my mama, who was there when he pulled up. Okay. So he pulls up and goes to telling me that he's in the church. Still ain't said he's a pastor. He's in the church. He's a minister. And he ministered. He's a preacher. Still ain't said he's a pastor. And he saw me, and I was the most gorgeous thing he ever seen before in his life. Oh, and by the way, he was married too.
With kids.
I'm not sure about the kids. I think he had like I'm not going to say kids. I remember him speaking on his wife was pregnant or something like that, and they were having a kid. I can't say kids. I can only speak on what I know. And I remember him saying something about his wife was pregnant, or they were expecting a newborn or something like that, or he had just had a newborn. I'm not sure on that one.
Okay.
But I do remember we did discuss kids, and this man took me to his house. I walked all through. Wife, you hear me? I walked all through this man's house. I saw the marriage pictures, saw the bed and everything. And I told him, you know, when they get you in the house, you're pretty much, they got you. They're going to get you because they got you in the house.
So what made you go to the house with him?
Because I wanted to show him how strong I was. I was very strong. I'm a very strong person. So he thought I was young and done, and he could flash the money and tell me that he could take care of me and buy me all kind of church suits. That's where this conversation went. And I told him, I said, well, my grandmother didn't raise me to do anything like that. And I just know that you're in the church and you stand on the pulpit. I ain't going to hell with you. Okay? So after that, I think he called me maybe two more times and saw that it was not working. I remember calling his church. Listen to me. I called his bishop. Y'all remember me? Baby, it's amazing that how time brings on a change and you see me again. I called the church and I called the bishop and I told him the things that he did. They brushed it under the carpet. Okay? So all of a sudden he dies. This is where the alleged comes in. He dies. He died real fast. They buried him so fast your eyes will pop. So did y'all ever, can anybody tell me what was the outcome of his death? How did he die? How did he die? I'm listening. I'll tell you this. I thank God that that spirit that came over me stopped me. I thank God that the spirit that came over me held me in my tracks and I pushed from that minister, because I'll probably be dying today. Okay? I'll probably be dying today. There were a lot of ministers that have practiced certain things in Mobile. Bishop Bernard Allen. Grandma, this one's for you. My grandmother's not here anymore, but I'm gonna speak this in my grandmother's name. Bishop Bernard Allen, this one's for you as well. You were another high-profile pastor that's, I don't think you hear anymore because I think you passed away too. And I think you and Bobby Millsap had a lot in common. When you get on that throne and you preach to those people, God's going to hold you at a higher accountability. So the curse and the strike down that he sends into your life, it's what you get when you play with the Lord. He's no joke.
So can you tell us why they died? Why did they allegedly die? Because if we don't have proof of it, then we obviously can't speak on what we think we know. So I'm going to say, what did they allegedly die from?
HIV. I'm going to say it. HIV, it's the talk around town. I mean, they buried him so fast. And I know people that he was fooling around with. I was not the only one that this guy came up to, that are living today and proclaims him to be the one that infected them, that gave them HIV. Y'all can sugarcoat this. This was your pastor. That's fine. But y'all know about these controversial things that came out when he died.
Now let's talk about his wife. What happened to her?
I don't know. Bless her heart. I know she was very hurt, and she was one of the people that shared his secret. And I don't mean this in any ill content to her, because sweetheart, understand that some things have to be brought to the light. And I just know from my experience that that man was gay. That man was completely gay. Bishop Bernard Allen was gay as well, because I'm the person that they tried to sleep with, but you didn't infect me. You get it? I
But
didn't
they
get
didn't sleep
killed.
with you either. You didn't sleep.
No,
Did you sleep? You didn't sleep with either one of them.
no.
But they
My
tried.
grandmother raised me. They tried. They tried hard. They tried. There was a third one. I can't think. I'm just gonna say it starts. I know your name. I'm not gonna call your name out because I'm not trying to reveal you. But I know a third one that I met. He was HIV positive, and he came to my mom and told my mom that the reason that he didn't want to continue to see me because he was HIV positive. So I'm telling y'all, people out there, I call them church. This is what the LBGT community call them. We call them church sisters. I'm being real. This is real talk, right? We
Yeah.
call them church sisters. To y'all church sisters, y'all running out there and y'all having these relations with these pastors and these ministers in the church. God gonna chastise you. And when you get that wrath, that curse that comes along with playing with God and playing with the pulpit and doing things like that other member that was doing that thing that he did in the pulpit, sitting in the pastor's chair, and it went out through social media. Do you remember that?
No.
The minister that was sitting in there and they were doing sex, having sex, and he was sitting in the pastor's pulpit. The person was, and the I think it was the musician was giving him oral sex. It went all through social media. It was shared on the news.
Okay, I
You
don't
feel
remember
me?
that.
It's a lot that goes on within the church, and y'all day is coming. Y'all can hide, but y'all day is coming. Man ain't got nothing to do with this. Y'all day is
But
coming.
George, how does that make you feel? And how does that may help you receive the word of God? Does it affect your relationship with God?
No, it does not, because I was really dumb to a lot of things, that I was being taught in church. Until knowledge is the key. You have to open your mind and explore and learn. Learn on your own. Stop sitting back and let somebody tell you what your knowledge is. Open a book and read yourself, because anybody can tell you anything. Learn your own knowledge. I taught you something today, and I'm going to say it again. What is God's name?
Yeah.
We call him God. Some say Jehovah. I was taught this, so I'm going to teach it to you guys. Correct me if I'm wrong. In your face, in your genetic makeup, it spells God. Yah. Here's the Y. Here's the A. Here's the H. Yah. A signature that he put on your face, that everybody has that signature. But when you were taught Christianity, they said the Lord. They said God. How many people knew about Yah? How many people
Okay.
knew about that?
Yeah, I mean, I've heard of Yahweh, like you said, Jehovah, different names for him. God is like a title,
Yeah.
but his name is Jehovah. Yeah.
We have to be careful what we're worshiping. We're in a different frequency, and a lot of people are becoming awake. We have to be careful of the things that we're worshiping, because God is a jealous God. And how can God be? They would always say, God is a jealous God. He doesn't want you to worship anybody but him. Listen to me. There's not no higher entity that's supposed to be the creator that's going to be jealous of somebody, because he's God. Listen to me. Listen to these teachings. He's God. What does he have to be jealous of? He's Almighty, the perfect one. Anybody disagree?
Right, right.
So
Absolutely.
what does he have to be jealous of? What's jealous? You feel me? We live in a very crazy world that we live in. and a lot of things are becoming to, coming to the forefront. This is the year of the awakening. Y'all about to
Right.
study those blood moons that we just had. That's in the Bible too. Y'all about to study those blood moons we just had. There's a lot of things that are changing rapidly.
I agree.
So I
I
think
don't think
everything
any of
is
this stuff is
becoming
by
changing.
mistake. I think it was all designed, and I
Hmm.
think it's falling in line with what was planned. I do.
Yeah,
I do. I believe that.
not a
But George,
coincidence.
the title of our show today is "Don't Judge Me Before You Know Me." Do you feel like people judge you because of your preference sexually, your sexual preference?
It's always been a weapon. When people try to hurt me, or you can't get me any other kind of way. I used to always tell them, you can't hit me with nothing else because I'm very successful. I'm very smart. Um, have direction. I'm a teacher. I'm not a follower. When I've been attacked, it's always been, he's a sissy. He's a fag. He likes men. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's designed to break a person down. That's supposed to make me feel some sort of way. But I am comfortable. I am comfortable in my skin because I realize within myself, I can't speak for anybody else. I'm talking about George. This is me. This is who I am. This is what makes me different from the other people because this is my life. I'm living this life. This is me.
Does it hurt, George?
Yeah, it hurts because when you know as a person that it's lies and they're using what society, how they have cursed society to think this way. Let me tell y'all something. Julius Caesar, Cleopatra, these are the greater people of society in history. They were gay. Okay? If you go back in time and you research gay people in history, they were great people. So how are you going to take something so great and make it so bad? Y'all don't know that story.
Have you ever been in a church setting or anywhere where because of who you are and your preference that you were rejected and told you can't be here? We don't allow people like your kind to be here. Have you ever experienced anything like that?
High Point Baptist Church. Uh-oh.
You called the church out. You called the
Let
church
me
out.
I'm gonna do
Why did
better
you
than
feel
call them out.
comfortable calling them out? Why did you feel
Oh, because
comfortable?
what they did at that church was very sick to me. Jason Hunter. Oh, I'm gonna speak because my friend is dead. I used to date Jason Hunter. He's dead. He died of he had what they call diabetes, and he died of an insulin attack a couple of years ago. But I used to date him, and there was this minister at the church, a female. She had this daughter, and I knew the whole story because Jason told me the whole story, and I heard the whole story on the telephone. They were trying to get Jason to marry her daughter. She wanted Jason to marry her daughter, so she was intimate in Jason marrying her. They knew Jason liked boys. Jason was as feminine as he could be. You understand what I'm saying? They knew what was
Right.
going on with Jason. So the moment that he brought my disabled, a person that stood out because I was in a wheelchair, he started bringing me to church every Sunday. Questions started to be asked. And Jason came to me, he said, look, I'm going to go ahead on and I'm going to tell her mother, oh, High Point, today's your day. Jason said, I'm going to go ahead on and tell her mom. This is what me and him discussed at home because I was getting kind of mad at, when I would go to church on Sundays and I'm dating him and this girl comes up and touch him in the front of me. And I got to refrain myself because we're in church and nobody knows what's going on.
So
I
were
got
you
kind of,
going along with this with him? Why would
no,
you?
I was
Oh,
furious. I was furious because I told him, I said, now she
okay.
got one more time to touch you. This how I was back then. I was in a wheelchair, but I was no joke. I said, she got one more time to touch you. And what comes up is going to come out. So Jason called her mom one day and told her mom that he was seeing me. He was being truthful. He was filling out his truth to her, not to the church, to her, to let her know that I'm not trying to hurt your daughter, but this is me. That's my lover, which was me. The next day, you hear me, Ella? The next day, next following Sunday that we went to church, I'm going to speak this. The next following Sunday, and I'm going to stand on what I say because it was wrong. And to be of the church, it was evil. You hear me? This woman got up there and held a sermon and preached that Sunday. And she looked at me, called me Lucifer while she was preaching. Talked about Jason and that I was the devil trying to take her son from her daughter.
She said that in the pulpit. She called you guys out in the pulpit.
Y'all remember me, High Point Baptist Church? Do any members remember me that's in this broadcast? If you do, I need for you to make a comment. Y'all remember me? Remember I let my wheelchair go and I was rolling to the front because I was going to let her have it in church. Remember that, y'all? And remember Jason ran from behind the organ. He grabbed my wheelchair and escorted me right on outside of the door.
Wow.
Right on outside of the door. Because Ella, I have never been afraid to correct somebody when I know that they're wrong. And you're not going to use God's word to attack me. You're not going to use God's word to make me feel lesser than a human being because I am who I am. Thus said the Lord, be you. Doesn't God say tell the truth? Yeah. Doesn't he say be honest? Yeah. I am me. You can't accept me, but I am me. You feel me? I was telling the truth.
Do you feel that God accepts you?
Yes, God. God is involved in everything. You're wrong. When people are doing wrong, when people are robbing and they're killing, God is involved in everything. There's nothing that he does not know about. Your life is already written, my dear. That's everybody. Man, woman, and child. Your life is already written. God knows what you're going to do before you do it. He even know how you're going to die. Yes. You feel me? Yes. So what we're living is what they call it, the book of life. Y'all never heard of that? Yeah. The book of life. We're living that story, that scripture of what we are to be. And you're going to live it because it's already written what you're going to do. You understand what I'm saying? So a lot of people say, well, oh, he's obnoxious or whatever. He did that in the church. Well, baby, let me tell you something. If it wasn't for people like me, Mr. Showtime, the guy with the receipts, that hold people accountable and present the evidence, the fact-checking moment of what they did, then y'all will still be lost. You will still be lost.
I have to say that I agree with you on that, George, because I don't know anyone who would have called out that pastor. Now, when he did that, when you caught him, did they escort him from the church? What happened? The first one, not Millsap, because we know he passed away.
Baby, look, the pastor tried to jump on me in a wheelchair. That's when you know that they're not of God. That's when you know, when you see that devil come out, the pastor tried to jump on me in the church. The pastor called the police in the church.
The day that you revealed him and your lover, he called the police.
Anybody that attended that, sir, I always have a viewer. I don't care when I tell a story. There's always going to be, and I'm going to go back and check them comments. I'm always going to have a viewer that remember that moment. Going to say, he is not lying. I was there. Where y'all at? I need for y'all to comment on what I'm saying. If you attended that service and you remember me, do I need to call his name? You know, I will call his name. Do I need to call Ian Ledette? I just call the name. I ain't scared because I live this. Ian Ledette. Remember, Ian, when I brought the truth to the light, you called my mama and you said I destroyed you in 24 hours. I didn't destroy you. I spoke facts and they fact checked you. You destroyed yourself. Okay? That's all I had to say. I call the name because I believe in receipts. There's no way you can tell a story and you don't have receipts to back you up. I got them.
So what happened? I mean, he called the police that day, but was he relieved of his duties or did he remain? No. So he remained the pastor of that church.
He's still there. He's still on his throne. I don't know if because I haven't been there. I don't know if he's died or went away or nothing. But I know that nothing was done to him. And some of the church members did come outside and tell me that they know he was, they knew he was gay. And they're so sorry this happened, but they said it had to come. I did get that. If I didn't get anything, I did get that from some of the members. And some of the members said that they're going to stop going to that church because they said that was very embarrassing to see something like that unfold with their pastor in a church.
So let me ask you a question, George. What was the difference? What's the difference between you and him? He
The
likes
difference
men. You like men. What's the difference?
between me and the pastor,
Yeah.
I'm living my truth. I'm admitting to the public who I am. When I go to a woman and I'm dating a woman, I don't come to the woman and try to act like I'm straight and baby, I love you, baby. That ain't me. You feel me? I
Right.
present to my females, I present to my males, look, I like both. I love you at this moment. It's you. But I don't want somebody to come to you up, walking up to you and I'm not with you and they tell you about my past or my secrets and you feel that I'm holding something from you. This is my truth. I'm living my truth. What could be more wronger than you're living your truth? You're being who you are. That's who I
Right.
am.
But
Why
because
am
he
I?
was hiding and he's up there on the pulpit making it seem like he's this different person, they needed to know. But unfortunately, they knew.
Exactly.
So you didn't tell them anything they didn't know.
There are a lot of churches that know. Oh,
So you
this
think,
is so
do you
controversial. But there are
think
a lot of
there's a
churches
do
that
you
know.
think there's a lot of ministers that are living this lie
Oh
in
yeah.
Mobile?
Oh yes. I had a
And you believe,
lover. I had a
oh
lover.
wow.
He was a musician. He's dead and gone. I don't bring no shame to his grave. I'm not going to call his name because some people, they always tell me not to call his name because they don't want to bring any shame to his grave. But honey, I had pastors when I was 17, 16, 18, 19, and I had a lover. He was 48 years old. Oh, baby, I'll tell my truth. I had pastors in our den getting drunk, telling us, oh, we going to preach about homosexuality Sunday. I seen this with my own eyes. When I went to Florida, Kizawanda AG is a girl that I dated. Kizzy, you know I'm not lying because me and her went through something with the pastor. I went to a pastor convention in Miami, and I learned that the Bible bearers. Oh, baby, I got to stand up on this one. I feel like I'm preaching. I feel like I'm bringing the word when I'm saying what I'm saying. The Bible bearers of these pastors were their boyfriends. Do you understand what I'm saying? You go to a convention and you know what a Bible bearer is?
Yeah, they hold the Bible for them.
Yeah, they bring that Bible up to that pastor when he start. That's their
Right.
boyfriends. That's their pieces.
Oh wow.
It's been hidden. This is hidden stuff that society doesn't understand. But when you step into the LGBTQ community, that third eye, the one y'all ain't using, becomes open. You got to step outside of the box to see. You feel me? Stop looking in the box. Ain't nothing in that box because everything in that box are lies. Step outside of that box. Open your eyes and see.
I
It's
mean,
right there in your
both
face.
of us being raised in the church, there's some things that we just know that happens in the church. And you have those people that are in the church that are very faithful members, and you can't tell them any wrong about the pastor. Did you witness that kinds of stuff? And how does that make you feel when you see that?
It's sad, but you have to respect their feelings and because they have been, I call it brainwashed. When you refuse to see the light and you, oh no, no, not my pastor. That's fine because you can, oh no, not my pastor all you want. Facts are facts. You can, oh no, not my pastor. That's fine. But what happens when they bring that just like when you try somebody in a case, what happens when they bring the evidence? Oh, not my pastor. But you got a whole video of your pastor doing it. What's your excuse then? You're embarrassed. You're gonna be embarrassed. You're gonna look like a fool. Stop following man. Man is not who you follow. You follow the word. Man is not perfect. I don't fault these pastors and these bishops and these popes and stuff like that. I don't fault them for their wrong. They're of the flesh. They don't have power. They're of the flesh. They're weak. They're not in spirit. I ain't
Spirit
even.
is willing, but the
I don't
flesh
even
is
preach
weak.
in a church, and I know this. I know this. This is truth. This is word. I had a grandmama that used to make us read that Bible, and she used to preach at home to install this. Is if y'all can't see scripture in me, something wrong with y'all.
No, I mean it's
Yeah.
it's true, George. But There are people that may watch this broadcast and they're like, well, how can he be so critical of people who are like he is? And they're all sinning, and we're all have to be forgiven. And the same God that loves you loves them. So what I want to clear that up for the viewers that could be possibly thinking that.
Because they're pastors, they're ministers, they're missionaries, they're evangelists, they're people who minister to our children. And when I was a kid, if y'all knew the truth, y'all go to church with a 38. If y'all actually knew the truth, watch your kids. Stop scaring your children and telling them, if you do this, I'm gonna do that. Stop doing that. Allow your kids to be open and transparent to talk to you. Half of the time when a kid does not tell the parent what is going on, mom, what has happened to me, because y'all done scared the hell out of them. If y'all do this, I'm gonna whoop you. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. I went through it. You scare the child. Allow your kid to talk to you.
Let's talk about that, George. When you say you went through that, tell us about that.
I went through that. Parents would say that's just like what went through me from being molested. In the black families, they would always tell you, oh, you better not say nothing about that. You better keep that to yourself. Y'all know what I'm talking about. When the black families, when they say, oh, you don't you expose that, that's our business. What happened inside our family stays inside our family.
That's
Stuff
right.
like that. You can't make nobody straight. You can't, a boy, girl, whatever creed, whatever color, you can't beat the hell out of a person and make them straight. You could beat them to the day till they turn black and blue. You can't make them straight. It doesn't work that way.
Did people try to make you straight? Did they try to make you straight?
I had plenty busted lips.
Wow.
I got beat up a lot within my family.
Whom? By whom?
My brothers, my cousins. I got my brother's dad used to beat me half to death if he caught me. If I would walk around, let me show you. And see, I have a childhood. I have a memory. You can't help being feminine if you were taught something. If you're taught that, then that's what you're going to be. So I would walk around. If he would catch my hand like this, when that? I got an ass whooping.
Wow.
I got an ass whooping. If he caught my hand in this position, he used to beat my ass. I'm serious. Excuse my French, but it's the truth. And if I sat up on the couch and I put my legs up like this, you take your knee and you put your legs up. Right. I got my ass whooped. Oh, I got the hell slapped out of me. Stop sitting like a girl. How? Imagine being me. And a grown man takes his hand and open hand slap you and knock you on the floor. What you gonna feel then? Hatred, right? You ain't gonna feel no love. They done slap the hell out of you. For what? You don't even know what you did wrong. You can't beat this. I just want people to stop doing this to people. And I think the curse that comes upon your family of hating gay people, this is amazing what I'm going to say. The curse that you get from trying to raise your kids to be straight, God always puts one right in front of you, whether it be the son that he gives you, whether it be your dad or your mom. God always exposes a gay person within your family that you would never think that you would have to deal with because you are a judgmental person. That's a fact. And I know this. Stop judging these people because that's why they're coming out everywhere. Y'all ain't seeing that gay people are coming out. They ain't coming out. They're not just blossoming. It's gay people have been suppressed, scared to show you who they really are. There's so many of us. Serious, scared to be who they really are. Oh, I don't want nobody to know my business.
George, what would you say to those men right now that are sitting at home with a wife sitting right next to him and she has no idea that he's gay? Talk to that woman, because there are women that got, sometimes we have this feeling. It's like, but they don't want to receive it. They're like, no, I need this man. He pays the bills. He's a good provider. He's a good father. I don't want to bust up my family and be a broken home. But you live with this
you're not going to bust up your family because I'm a living testimony of it. You look at that woman Woman, we always talk about the men. Women do it too. You look at that woman, you look at that man, and you tell them the truth. You bring everything to the table. You allow that person. I'm not saying get in front of a group of people.
Right,
The
right.
person that you're dealing with, you look at that person and you tell them the truth. You tell them who you really are. And you allow them to make the decision
That's
on whether
right.
they want to, deal with you or not.
That's
Once
right.
everything's out on the table, there's nothing somebody can come to you and blackmail you with, because like I used to always tell them when I was married, well, my wife know who I am. When somebody would say, "Oh, do your wife know?" "Oh yeah, baby, she know." Go on, try. Catch you in public, go on, run up to her and tell her I like boys and see what she tell you. She's probably gonna laugh in your face. That's what I dealt with. That's how
Wow.
I operated. There's not one broad that's walking the face of this planet that ever slept with George that can say, "Oh, he fooled me. I didn't know he liked me," and lies and garbage. All the way down to my son's mom. They knew. In the
Right.
beginning, there was George. And
Now,
I
did
told
you
you,
ever meet a woman that did not like it and she said, "Well, look, I'm gonna pass"? Never.
I'm a beast in the bedroom.
Oh,
I'm a beast. I'm not blowing it up. I'm just telling you, I'm a beast in the bedroom.
so
Seriously.
they accepted it, but you never cheated with them though. When you were married, whenever you were in a relationship, you never cheated on the woman. You just told her
No,
that
I
you like.
mean, like my wife that I was married to, her biggest thing that she knew I was very popular, and she knew me from in my teenage years. She watched me grow to an adult, and she knew there were men that liked me. I think it was more of the thought of the physical thing that she was going through. That is this guy trying to talk to my husband? Is that guy trying to talk to my husband? I know a lot of guys, but guess what? Just like I know a lot of guys, I know a lot of women too. So I'm damned if I do. I'm damned if I don't. Because the men like me and the women like me too. Honestly.
Wow.
And once you get one guy like my women, y'all, I'm just telling, to all y'all dudes that know me in Mobile. Y'all have seen me take out girlfriends. Y'all went up to these girls and told them girls, "Oh, he a fag." Why get your girlfriend? Why your girlfriend sitting at my table? But you masculine. You all man. But I got your girlfriend. She's sitting at my table. How did that happen?
How did that happen?
You have to first become what every woman is looking for. See, I can give that woman that. A heterosexual masculine man can never produce that.
And what is
Because
that?
they want a guy that's compassionate, that's gonna care about their feelings. Women are so sensitive, right?
Yes.
You want to be loved. You want to feel like you're the center of their attraction. Period.
Right.
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 Nothing else
Right.
matters but you. That's all you got to do. That's all you got to do. Agree to everything. Even if they wrong, agree anyway. you know
That's
I'm,
bad
you know
advice,
I'm telling
George.
the truth.
But that's bad advice
But you know I'm
because
telling the truth.
now you put your secret out there because they're like, "Oh, so you really did believe me. You were just saying that just to keep the peace."
Yeah,
Because
because you want to
masculine
keep the
dudes are
peace.
not gonna do that. You know, masculine. Oh, I'm not giving in. They got too
If
much
they
pride.
love, okay, let me put it like this: if you fall in love with somebody, do never tell somebody. I never do it. I never do it. There are a lot of women that's probably gonna come on here tonight and say he ain't lying. I ain't finna sit there and look at you and tell you I love you and I don't.
Right.
I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna say I care. Whatever. This is my powerful word. I care for you, but you're not gonna hear. There's one woman, one that's walking this earth that can say that I was in love with them because I
Your
actually
ex-wife,
told them. Nope,
the lady
nope.
you talked about the other night, that she was all
Angie,
woman.
Angie, yeah,
She was all woman,
Angie. I loved
and
Angie.
not your ex-wife.
I mean, she knew it in the beginning. She knew it, and it's no secret. She knew it in the beginning. I told her what my feelings were, and she got mad because the day of our wedding, I had second thoughts, and she cried the day before. You don't want to marry me. I went through all of that
But why did you have second thoughts, George?
Because I was, I wasn't sure. We didn't have any type of counseling before we got married. I wasn't sure until this day of living, and I made it to reach 48. It was the worst decision of my life.
To do what?
To marry that person, to marry her under the conditions that I married her under. It was the worst decision of my life. We didn't last 4 years. We didn't last 3 months because on
What
month number 3,
condition
I
did
was
you
moving
marry
out.
her? Because she was pregnant?
No, because she was liking me, and I was her center of attraction, and she couldn't, just the way she made me feel. If I left her, that she was just not going to be the same. You understand what I'm saying? So I felt more sorry than anything, and she knew it. She knew it.
I mean, you
But we're
revealed
still
some things
pretty.
the other night. You
We're still
revealed some
pretty good.
others. That's good. You revealed some things the other night too about that. Those of you that are just tuning in, or this is your first time meeting Mr. Showtime, he revealed the other night that his ex-wife, she just wanted to have sex too much. George, she just wanted to have sex too much, and he was tired. George, now I need you to clarify that, because I don't want people to get off this broadcast thinking, what kind of man doesn't want sex from his wife?
You cannot.
Please clarify.
What's that man name that had Samson? Is that Samson that had the long hair
Samson, yes.
in the Bible?
Yes.
You can't drain this man of all his energy, baby. You can't. If you cannot drain these men of their energy, they gotta recuperate. They gotta recuperate. And some people have higher sex drives than others. Okay? Number one, the thing that motivates a sex drive is the attraction to that person.
Okay.
That's number one.
Please don't tell me you were not attracted. Please don't tell me you were not attracted to your wife.
Not like that. I'm just being honest. I'm sorry if it hurt somebody's feelings. I'm just being not like that.
I didn't mean to laugh because that was not funny, George. Because
I know it, but not like that.
I'm a woman and I was married.
Look, my ex-wife knows me. She know I ain't finna sugarcoat nothing. I'm gonna tell you just like it is. I wasn't attracted like that.
Why not?
Honestly, I wasn't.
Is it because she was a woman?
No.
Is it?
Angie had it. Angie had that fight. You feel me? Remember that statement?
Why did Angie have the fire?
The baby, she used to always tell me, Angie had this fire. She used to always tell me about the Houston, Texas girls. Angie came from Texas, and she had this. Whoo, Lord have mercy. I miss her. If you're watching this video, I still think about you every day. I still do. I really
Well, maybe
do.
we can make that connection. What's her name? Angie. If you're out there and you want to make a love connection on the Ella Johnson show, hit me up. Maybe I can reunite you with her. But I need to make sure you get some rest and you exercise, because you might get another woman. I didn't
have a problem. I didn't have a problem with her.
So it was because you were attracted to her. What is it that, and I don't want to talk about your ex-wife. This is the last question I'm asking you. What is it about her that made you less attracted to her?
She became my mom. She was my mother, right, not my wife. She became a mother. It's time to go to bed. 8 o'clock, turn off the TV. It's time to go to bed. It's time to eat. Time to come inside. I mean, women don't realize they do this, but they do. Don't no man want no woman acting like they mama. We move out to get away from our mamas. You mean tell me we're gonna marry our mama too? Well, if I'm up watching television,
oh Jesus,
I'm telling the truth. If I'm up watching television and you come up there and turn off the TV, baby, that's an argument coming from me.
But George, we talked about this the other night, and I told you that was just her way of saying, "Look, I want to go to bed because." Maybe she could have been a little smoother, and maybe she could have been a little more sexy with it. But that's what she was saying, George. Is like, look, sweetheart, why are you watching TV so hard? Because women get offended, George. Let me just tell you, women get offended when they want it and you don't know we want it.
Okay, baby, then
we got to tell you. It's like, okay, so I see this man is not going to do anything, so I'm going to have to tell him.
Okay, I'm going to give you that one. I'm going to give you that one. I'm going to clean it up.
Give me that.
Okay. You got it. Women get offended when they ain't getting attention. Okay, then. Well, come in there and watch TV with me. Let's do it and watch TV too. Why the TV got to go off?
Because that's not sexy.
Oh, shoot. You ain't slept with George.
Well, that's true.
They ain't got, you got to turn on. You got to be the, what
I'm
we got to be
sorry.
the
If
doctor
CNN
for.
is on and I'm looking at Don Lemon on CNN, I'm sorry. That just doesn't make me just want to get undressed. I'm sorry.
And look, El, let me tell you something. What we got to be in the darkness for? What the TV got to do with me making you hit that climax era? What TV got to do with that?
I mean, nothing really, but I mean, the right mood is good too, George.
Hey, I am the right mood.
Whatever.
Let me
But
stop.
I'm glad that you and your ex-wife are friends. And if you're watching, sweetie, you know, I just we're just having fun.
Yeah.
Because you know,
We
marriage.
cool. We cool. We cool.
Yeah, that's
Trust.
good. All right, George. Well, we're gonna talk a little bit more about this. We're not gonna talk a lot about what you got going on right now because you know there's a case, there's legal stuff. But you know, the discrimination part, we're not gonna name companies, we're not gonna name anything to do with this case. But I just want you to know you felt discriminated on your job. What about that felt like discrimination? Do you think you were being discriminated because you're African American? Because these are the different classes of discrimination. Was it because you're African American? Is it because you're a gay male? What was the reason you think you were discriminated against?
The reason identified itself because the only thing that I did, I was in management for years. I've done management. If you've never been a manager, then you don't have the experience. I have over 16, 17 years of management, right? So the only thing I did was come forward and tell the truth about something I seen that was illegal. And then the first week, his gay ass. Okay, that's how it comes out. That's how it came to me. He ain't nothing but a faggot. That's what it came from. And then when you go and you're using those, and some people were very jealous because anybody that came into my environment of wherever I've worked, they can never get me for not being unprofessional. You understand what I'm saying? If anything, I stand out with my professional standards because God took that away from me for 17 years. For 17 years, I could not make a living. I had to sit in a wheelchair and wish that I could work again. Right?
Right.
So when I'm in a situation and I know right and I know wrong and all I did was tell the truth, and then you use my sexuality, you start telling the customers about my sex. Damn near people that meet me in the public don't even know I'm gay. I don't carry myself like that in the public. They have no idea. And when they hear it, they're in shock. You're gay? George, you're gay? You understand what I'm saying?
And it's because someone at the job told them.
Yeah. I mean, I've experienced that.
So in other words,
and
right.
I've cried a lot. On my Facebook page, it has an activity calendar on Facebook. If y'all go back in time and look at my history of every job, that I've cried a lot. And damn near every time I'm sitting there crying is because people judge me for my sexuality, not my content of the person, of the factor of the person of who I am. It's my sexuality that they always use against me. I've cried a lot about it because it hurts. It hurts to be judged for your character of what you're doing that doesn't fit with society's image. That hurts. And you'll never know what it feels like until somebody do it to you.
True.
You'll never know what it feels like until it's done to you. But I'm gonna tell y'all something. I've went through hell fighting to be me. I went through hell trying to get people to see that just because you are a certain type of way doesn't mean that you're a bad person.
Right.
I went through hell challenging people to be better, to any gay person that is out there, anybody that's in the LGBT, whether you're bisexual or whatever, listen to me. I challenge y'all to make these people out to be a liar. We have to work harder. We have to be more successful than the average person because we're already dead. We are the blacks. LGBTQ, y'all know what I'm talking about when I make this statement. We are the minority. We are I can't use the word, the N word they call black people. We're those people. We're nothing. We don't have a spirit. We don't have a soul. We're nobody. So With that being said, that's why we work so hard. That's why we have these beautiful homes. That's why we have these beautiful careers. That's why we're outstanding workers, because of what they always said that we couldn't be, we shouldn't be, and we don't have the authority to be. Y'all know I'm
Wow.
telling the truth. Y'all know
Wow,
I'm telling
George.
the
I
truth.
mean, I felt something as you were talking and speaking that, because I felt your pain.
Yeah.
Because, all that, I mean, Wednesday night, we went through your story, and I saw how painful it was for you to tell it, the molestation and being molested, and just being shunned by your family because of your preference. If you had, let's just say you could rewind the clock. Let's take you back to that 14-year-old boy, because that's when you started having relations with boys. If we could take you back to that 14-year-old boy, take away everything that's happened to you, would you still choose men?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
that's your truth. Can
It's
you tell me why?
me. It's because.
Now, I'm talking about, we took away the experiences, George, because the reason you chose men
Oh,
is
okay.
because of the way it made you feel. So
Okay. If
I'm
you take away
taking
the
away the
experiences,
experiences. None of
I'll
that stuff
probably,
happened to you when you were 4.
I'll
None
probably
of
be
that stuff.
straight. I'll
You'd be
probably be
straight.
straight. Honestly, I mean, if you take away the experiences, because when people say, "Oh, I was born gay," that's a lie. I challenge anybody that make that statement. "Oh, I was born." You're not born anything. You're born. You're subjected to homosexuality, whether you choose to admit the truth or not. There has to be a subliminal message for that to incur in your brain. Can y'all please stop telling these folks and making yourselves look like fools, saying that you're born gay? Ain't possible. You have to be subjected, taught, or went through something that had homosexuality to deal with it. Baby, ain't nobody. You're not born gay. You can be taught. You can be around something that encourages you to like something, just like they say. What was that guy, that rapper that was going against the other rapper that's gay, and he was saying that he was teaching the younger youth to be gay. That's my point. I agree. I agree.
What are you agreeing with?
There's a rapper. What's his name, Lord? See, I don't know too much about rappers, but there's a rapper that's going on social media, and he was
Nas?
talking about now Nas X is the rapper that it was talking about that has the gay agenda. Now I agree. What was this rapper's name? God, it was just something on YouTube today that was put up about this black rapper. But Nas X is who and I was talking about it. He was mad as hell because he was saying how Nas X said that he was going to go and perform naked on stage. And he was saying that if he was at that show and Nas came out there and performed naked in front of his kid, he'll probably go to jail that night because he was gonna beat the hell out of him when he got up on stage because he had kids there. And I agree. You gotta stop subjecting our youth to this. Allow them to make their own decisions, but you don't have to teach it to them. You don't have to show them how to be gay. Let them decide on whether they want to be gay and stop glamorizing it. They're making it a glamorizing thing.
So
It's
you
not.
disagree with that?
Yeah, because it's not something that we choose to be. Let me tell you something. There are so many gay people, whether they're out or in the closet, wherever they are. We want to be straight. We want to be normal. You understand what I'm saying? But we're not. So what do we do now? Kill ourselves? What do we do? We don't have a
Live your
direction.
truth.
Yeah,
You got to live
exactly.
your truth. That's the only thing you can do. That's the only
Exactly.
thing you could do. Wow, George. I've known you for a while, but there's things that you brought out Wednesday and tonight that I did not know. I didn't know, but you know what? I still love you. It didn't change a thing. And I think that the more you receive that acceptance and that love, because it's not my job. I can't put you in heaven or hell. I can't. My job, and the only thing God told me to do, is love you unconditionally. Do you think, would your prayer be for God to change you? Or do you think that you're fine how you are?
My prayer would be for God to. Now, this is. I'm gonna take this to heart. My prayer is not for God to change me, because if He changes me, then I'm not the person that I became to be. Everybody has a purpose in life.
That's true.
There are so many people on this planet. And until we can realize that all of us on this whole planet, inner earth, see, I'm awake, inner earth, and on the top, inside and on the top. I'm gonna identify all of us, okay? Until we can understand that we are one. We've been saying this for years, but y'all don't get it. A lot of people don't get it. We're one, regardless of the blacks, whites, whatever. We're one. One race, the human race. Until we can see each other. What is God's plan? For all of us to live and treat thy brother, thy sister, treat us all equal, right? To get along. We ain't mastered that yet. We're in the year 2021 and we still ain't mastered. We can't get along.
True.
Until we can conquer that. When we can walk around on this planet and everybody's on one accord, loving everyone, getting along with everybody, oh, we'll be at a better frequency then. But all this
Who,
separation and division, it's never gonna get
George, who
anywhere.
has shown you more love? When you go to the church or when you're amongst your other friends that are your other friends? Because not all your friends are gay, lesbians, or because some of us are straight. So where do you feel the most love?
My mom. That's the truth. My mom. Because my mom, it's like when I'm sorry. Um,
It's all right, brother.
my
It's all
mom.
good. Your mom. Why?
Because she's always felt my pain. No matter what I've been through in my life, she's always felt my pain. And I have nightmares about my mom leaving here. And I pray. I know y'all gonna think I'm crazy for this, but I pray sometimes to God and I say, God, I can't take this. I said, let me go first. I pray to God to take me first, because that is a nightmare for me. Just losing my mom. My mom, I'm very close to my mom. That's all I've ever had. And my mom,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. Well, George, I see why you have so much love for mom. You talked about her a lot and how she embraced you when she found out what your uncles and cousins did to you. She
Yeah.
didn't know. And I can imagine as a mom, she feels horrible that she wasn't there to protect you from all of that. But
And
like you
she
said,
parents can't feel it's nothing that y'all did wrong, any parent. Because the first thing a parent says is, oh, I failed, or my son is
yeah,
gay, or my daughter's gay. And the first thing a parent feels is that they failed in some way. It's not y'all. It's nothing that y'all did. It's these disgusting creatures that decided to put their hands on your children. It's what they
yeah,
did. And it's nothing that the parent does. My mom, if she could, let me tell y'all something. I have an amazing mom. My mom will give me her last dime. And she's not materialistic. My mom can drive a regular car. She's never been a person that wanted more. She was always content with what she had.
right.
So for me, I'm so sorry because I'm not trying to get upset, but I'm an emotional person. It's something a lot of people don't understand about me. But for me, my drive and dealing with epilepsy, the only thing that it's not for me. My success is not for me. The only thing that I want to do is be able to allow my mom to enjoy um, several years of retirement, not worrying about who's going to pay the bills, where she's going to get the next dollar from. That's all I ask God, to allow me to be able to let my mom collect her check and not have to pay bills, just
Right.
live, because she has done so much. And I'm not the only kid, it's a lot of us, but she has sacrificed so much for us, and she has stood behind us. And so your mom and your father, they're going to be your friends regardless of what you do. You can go out and murder somebody,
They gonna
your
still
mama's
love you.
still going to love you.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? And I just got a lot of respect for her, but I have never dealt with the things that I'm going through now, like epilepsy. I've always had epilepsy. I've worked my ass off with epilepsy. So all the stuff that I'm going through now, the discrimination of having epilepsy, to be turned down from jobs because of epilepsy, to have doctors tell you, "Oh, you can't do this and you can't do that," and I've already done it, quote non-quote. I've already done it because hey, I already done it. So how are you gonna tell me I can't do something I already done it?
Right.
You feel me? I have never had an epilepsy attack at work since I've been working for other people. Never had it. So it's more than just me. This is about more than just me.
Right.
And put yourself in my shoes. If you passed everything that there, if you conquer, let me say this here. If you came from the bottom of the negative and you turn your life around and you get to the front door of success and you knock at that door and you're standing with your chest out, oh, I done made it. And you think that they're going to open the door and let you in, and they open the door and look at you and say, you're disabled. I'm
Hmm.
sorry, we can't give you this because you have a disability. Y'all will never know what that feels like. I know people that have committed suicide when they fail. And when you destroy a person's dream, regardless of, the devil got busy just then. Um, when you
Why?
destroy
What were
a
you
person,
thinking? What happened?
that's how it felt for me. That's
Yeah.
what I'm going through now. Um, if it wasn't for my mom, I probably would have gave up on it. And because I've came so far.
Yes, you have. You were
I've
in a
came so
wheelchair,
far.
brother, and now you're walking. You started the show standing up. That's a blessing.
Yeah.
Listen, I want to show you this comment that one of the viewers made before we get out of here, George. I want you to see this.
Get my
You can't
glasses.
say, oh Lord, get your glasses.
Y'all
Put
know
your
I'm 48.
glasses on. Put your
Y'all know
glasses
I'm
on, baby.
48.
Put your glasses on, baby.
Gotta put my goggles on. I'm sorry.
Because I want you to see this.
Oh, wait a minute.
Do you want me to read it to you? It's on the. I'll read it to you. I'll read it to you. She says, "Speak. I don't know you, but I love you."
Oh my goodness, who said that? What's her
Robin
name?
Team. Robin
Bless
Team.
your heart. God bless you. Thank you. God bless you. It's
And
just
she
me.
also said this. She said, "Absolutely, be who you are." So you see, George, this is the part where I want you to get. There's sometimes we can misinterpret how people look at us or what people think. Not everybody is against you. It doesn't matter to me one iota what your sexual preference is. You're George, and I love you. You're my friend. You're my brother. I love our conversations. And I just think you're a very special person. And you spoke a lot of truth tonight. I mean, you really did. And I hope you feel better than you came onto this broadcast because that's what it's all about. So we're going to love on you because, we all need support. We all need love. We all need friendship. She says she's going to send you a friend request too. And I just want you to know I love you, brother. Look at me. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what you've done. Doesn't matter what you've been. Doesn't matter to me who you've done. You are God's child. And he gave me one thing. Oh, you ain't got no business worrying about what he's doing, who he's doing. What he's doing or who he's doing. You don't need to worry about that because you too have done it. But you have to love him no matter what. I'm here always. You got me?
Yes, ma'am.
And she said, you're going to bless a lot of people. We need to share this broadcast because you spoke a lot of truth. And a lot of people don't like to touch that subject about the church. And I know it's a touchy subject, but I have to be a different kind of broadcast too. I'm not on here for fluff. I don't believe in fluff. I could be watching my soaps right about now without this wig and without all these lashes and everything, doing what I normally do on Friday nights. But this had to come out. It had to, George. I'm glad your phone blew up the other night because we wouldn't have done tonight, right? Your phone blew up on live TV, like literally. But this was necessary. This was necessary. I want to bring up these messages because I want you to see them. I'm going to just read them. She says, I see your heart. You're going to bless a lot of people. Yes, God loves you, and so do I. Did you call Stephanie the other day?
Yes.
You did?
That's the one that's the minister in Atlanta, Georgia.
That's going to do the revival in Monroe. You called her?
Yeah, I did. She's an amazing person. Yeah, I did.
Well, she's watching right now.
Hey.
Yeah, she's
She's
watching.
an amazing person. She really is. God bless her.
Yes, she is. She's my friend. And I really do hope that you will consider going to Monroeville for that revival. It's going to bless you. She's a great woman of God. And I think it's going to be good, George. You'll go? Yeah?
Yeah, I'm actually planning on going. I don't think my aunt is going to be able to go with me because she's still scared. She's still recovering from coronavirus. But
Of course.
also remember about my legal battle. Don't forget that y'all pray for me with that because um I'm going through a serious legal battle from getting sick, and they're taking away my ability to make a living. They're trying to take away certain rights that I have now. It's ongoing, so y'all pray for me because I got a strong legal battle. And like my mom said to me today, she said, "You need to tell me that they knew you were having a seizure and they won't throw out a ticket. It's that serious." I'm going through that now, and
Well, I just pray that God is going to take that situation and fix it, George. Because
yeah.
one thing that I do know about him is that he can change anybody. He can move whatever he needs to move out of the way just to put it in your hands and bless you. So I just want you to be encouraged with that. And I want you to stay in touch with Stephanie. She's a strong prayer warrior.
Oh, that's my
And
sister.
I heard that. Yes.
My sister. I like her. I just like it's something about her energy. Real
She
strong.
used to be a pop locker. Those people that dance? What?
What?
Yes. She used
Okay.
to be a pop. She's like in the Hall of Fame at University of South Alabama for
Are you
basketball.
serious?
I am absolutely serious. So you got a baller and a pop locker. And I don't know if she can pop lock anymore. Because no, she used to pop lock different than that. But I'm just saying, I'm glad that you made that connection. I want to thank all of you guys for tuning in tonight. This was a different kind of broadcast. This is a subject that I have never tackled on the Ella Johnson Show, but I have to go where God leads me because you know what? This show is about bringing people to heal from their hurt. That's what this broadcast is all about. It's not about popularity. It's not about likes. It's not about any of that. Not for me, because I do believe that when we take care of God's business, he'll take care of ours. Amen. So when that day comes and I am on own and all of that, the foundation has been set. And I want you guys that have dreams. Listen, I put this quote out there the other day and I said, if your dreams don't scare you, they're not big enough. Think about that. If they don't scare you, they're not big enough. And I want to bring this up too before we get out of here. Since we're talking about Stephanie, let's bring up the flyer for her event. Those of you that are watching this broadcast, you may be in Monroeville, you may be in surrounding areas, but this event, this revival, this is something y'all remember these tent revivals. I haven't been to one since I was like 8. You
That's
know,
the
the people
best
get the Holy
person.
Ghost and they knock over the chairs and all that kind of stuff. We used to love that as kids because that was entertaining. You know, we only had 3 channels. So this was something we look forward to as kids, but she is bringing it back. She's bringing it back and she's taking it on the road to Monroeville. Now, y'all don't make this woman go all the way with her friend, psalmist Ingram Franklin and musician Deshauna Parker. Don't make these women go up there and y'all don't show up. Okay, show up, be there August 26th through August 28th from 7 p.m. It starts at 7 p.m. Thursday through Friday. They didn't have an ending time because you just never know where the Holy Ghost is gonna go. Y'all might be there all night. We stayed in the clubs all night, so why can't we stay at the tent revival? I'm just saying. And then at 12 p.m. on Saturday, Clausell Park. If you don't know where it is, Google it. But the people in Monroeville know. But I want everybody in the surrounding areas, whether you're in Evergreen, Atmore, Greenville, Jackson, Montgomery, Mobile, wherever, go to this event. It's time. With everything going on in this world today, it's time. Let's have a revival. Then I want to bring this quote up too. You guys remember I did this the other day, and this is really, I really like this because I do a lot of quotes sometimes. And I want to say this to encourage people. You know, we're all going for our success. We all want better things in life. We all want to do great things. We've gone to school, we've got an education, and we want to do things. Sometimes you see people doing things you want to do. So I referenced the Bible where Peter wanted God to let him. He wanted Jesus. He saw that Jesus was walking the water, and Peter's like, well, I want to do that too. He says, well, do it. So Peter started doing it. But Peter also started drowning. And he did what some of us do sometimes. We get a little something, something, and then we forget about God. We take our eyes off of him. We start puffing ourselves up with pride, and we start thinking it was all me. It was all me. It was that degree. I worked hard. I earned it. And he started sinking. And that's the same thing some of us do. Now, I did this quote to end that. I said, the same water that Peter walked on is the same water that almost drowned him. So think on that. I'll leave that right there. George, you want to say anything before we get out of here? We had a great broadcast tonight, right?
We had a super broadcast. Support Ella Johnson. Support her content. Like I've always said before I even came on her show, she's a wonderful, spirited person. And remember that we have to help each other. It's not all about ourselves.
Right.
You have to help each other. You have to give back. When God blesses you, you have to learn how to bless somebody else. Stop being selfish. Help each other.
Amen.
Change
I
the
appreciate that. I appreciate that, my brother. Well, I'm gonna get. Let me see here. I wanna definitely like for people to their broadcast to. I mean, their comments to show up here. Okay, there's Ann. She says, "You know, I love you, George. Ann is the reason I met you. She's the one that told me about you, and that's why I started."
She is.
Yeah,
Yes, she
Stephanie
is.
says God will fight for you. And Deborah says, Miss Ella, for some reason, the last 2 or 3 links from you were not available or working. Oh, no. I'm sorry, Deborah. They're not working at the time because it doesn't work until you go live. So let me know if there's any broadcast you want to see, sweetie, and I'll email them right to you. For sure. My website will be up working soon, and you'll be able to see some of my shows from that. Stephanie says, come as you are. That's right. Stephanie also says, thanks, Ella, for the shout out. Appreciate it. Girl, you know I got you. You got me. I got you. Robin Teen says, awesome broadcast. Oh, thank you, sweetie. Thank you so much. You know I love you. I love you too. I love you too. Thank you so much. And my cousin ends the night with great show as always. This woman right here, I absolutely love her. After all of my broadcasts, we sit on the phone until I fall asleep on her. Okay. I'm on the phone with her when I'm taking out the lashes, the wigs, and everything, but she is always there to support me. And I appreciate you, cuz I love you for that. I do not take it for granted, because when you're trying to go for something, you need that support. Even strong people need it too. Robin Teen says, I need the entire week. Well, girl, I got you. I got you. All right, guys, well, we're going to get out of here. That's our show for tonight. It has been a pleasure, George. You know I got to bring you back again, but next week we'll be back for more shows right here on the Ella Johnson Show. I got to talk with my guy that we were planning a full week next week, but I'll probably do a video over the weekend to tell y'all what that is. But we got some good stuff coming up next week. If it's not next week, we'll have to reschedule it, but you'll definitely want to tune in next week because we're going to be talking about clergy hurt. Yeah. We're going to be talking about clergy hurt because a lot of times we look to pastors and we don't realize that they go through things too. So we're going to bring some true stories, and he's out of Mobile, actually, the one that wants to do this. Yeah. Yeah, because we judge and we look for perfection, but they're people too. So I think that there's room for everybody to grow and go forward on the Ella Johnson Show. All right. Well, all right, guys. We'll see you next time. Have a great weekend. Love you all. Thanks for tuning in to the Ella Johnson Show.